Hello all. Let me show you the basics of rendering with color. For this example, I'm going to use Juvia from Fairy Tale. In this we have golds, blues, and whites. When you're rendering something, that means you are also adding light and shadow. I did do a tutorial on light and shadow, but I'm going to go over it again in this video. But we're going to take it a step further. And I'm going to show you how I add other colors on top of the other colors to make something more dynamic. As you can see in this example, I have just put on the base colors. No details, no shadows, no lights. In this example, also, I'm going to be having two light sources. One from the staff and one down here. To help me remember, I am going to, with only one pen, this entire drawing will only be rendered with one pen, Wattlebird. It's stock on Procreate. On the top, I'm going to just put a little blue mark here because this is where our blue light is going to shine from. And over here, I'm going to make a more pinky purple tone. These two light source markers are on the same layer so I can turn them off whenever I want. I always like to start with the skin the most. I'm going to tap on that layer that I have the skin and go to Alpha Lock to make sure that I don't go outside the lines. On an empty layer above, I am going to go tap on this and hit Clipping Mask. This will allow me to draw things on top of the layer but not mess with the bottom layer. This is where I'm going to do my lights and shadows. For the skin, that is. Making sure that you're on that layer, because I've done that before. We are going to hold down on the skin and see where it is on our color wheel. For the light part, I'm going to go kind of warmer yellow. For the light part, I'm going to do more of a purple because of where this is and where the light is shining up on her. And make it more of this kind of pinky purple pale color. And with the same pen, we're going to make kind of just this basic shape. Doesn't need to be precise, doesn't need to be accurate. Just put the shape of where you're going to want that light. Over here as well, and on the leg. Maybe a little bit on the other leg, but this hand is a little too far, so I'm not going to put any on that side. Now we have our light source on this layer, clipped to the bottom, and on that other layer, the one that we have alpha locked for the skin, we're going to add another layer, and it will automatically clip mask as long as this top one is clip masked. This is where we're going to put our shadow. Very important to note that you'd want your shadows and lights on different layers generally, but you don't always have to do that. Sometimes it makes it easier. Taking the skin color again, I want to make more of a purpley, like a deeper blue purple. And bring it more toward the center so it's more pigmented. Same pen, and we're going to shadow where we think our shadows would be. Taking note of hair and face. Be mindful that we do have a light source here, shining this way. Paying no mind if it's an actual shape or accurate. Now that we have our light and shadow where we want our light and shadow, we are going to make these lights and shadows more dynamic. How? Let's start with light. On the light layer, you want to color select, then choose your color, usually a brighter color, and sort of outline your light source areas. Doesn't have to be very strong, the opacity can be turned down. Just give that hint of dynamic. You can go ahead and closer to the light source that it is, you can color select and put more of that light source directly. Throw in maybe some more red tones in there as well. You don't need to pick one color, you can just have multiple colors. I'm going to put in more of a yellow too. Like this. But more on the lighter because it is more of a warmer, lighter tone. Instead of outwards towards the skin. Like this. Now that we have that, leave her alone. Just for now, we'll get back to it. Going to our layers again and going to shadows, we're going to do sort of the same thing. Take the color of our shadow and maybe make it a more bluey color. It could even be lighter, towards the skin that is. sort of like this. Don't care about accuracy or shape. Unless you really want to do that, that's totally fine. But right now, for this example, we're just going to put blotches of color in places we feel like blotches of color should be. I'm even going to do different color. But as you notice, I'm staying a little bit cooler with our shadow colors. We're not going to be adding yellows to our shadow. You can sometimes do that, but for this, on our light sources, we're not going to. Don't even worry about blending at this point. Don't even worry. Okay, we have our lights and we have our shadows, and we've put color all around it. Now here's for the fun part. Go to your layer. For instance, I'm going to start with the light. Go up here to adjustments and go to Gaussian blur, and then slide around till you see sort of a nice gradient pattern. It can go as far or back as you want. I'm going to do very subtly, I'm going to do maybe like around like 8, maybe 6. Like that. You want it blended, but you still want to see that light. You still want it to have some sort of shape, like these little sections. Do the very same to our shadow. Go up here, go to Gaussian blur, and do the same. I'm going to do around 6. Scratch that. I'm going to do 10. 10% looks better. And you can change it. If you want your shadows to be a little bit less blended, do a little bit of less percent. It all depends on what you like. Now, you can go in and make some of the spots a little bit brighter or darker. For instance, if you want more darker shadows in certain areas, go onto the same layer, same pen, and just kind of make sharper shadows in certain areas. Usually things that are closer to other things have sharper shadows, like this. Same goes for light. If you want this to be a little bit more lighter, go to the light layer, maybe a pure white, closer to the cheekbone. Makes it look a little bit glowy. Subtle, don't overdo it. Over here as well. You can almost barely see this on camera, but in person, it does make a difference. If you feel like you've blended a little too much, all right, but you've already done a whole bunch of other work on one of the shadows, go ahead and with the same Wattlebird pen, subtly erase some of your shadows to make them a little bit sharper. This is why it is pretty important to have them on different layers. Now, don't worry, I didn't forget about this light source. It's just that it's closer, much closer, which means our light is going to be much sharper than the softness of this light. On another layer, still clipped to the skin, and with the same pen, take the color of this light and just make very bold sort of shape. And then make a lighter, still very pigmented blue shape like this. And then of course blend, but not very much. We still want to make sure that it has shape. You would repeat this process on different details such as the hair, the clothes, and other different details. Go to part 2 on some of those tiny details. See you there.